Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. No periodic table, no alien talk. However, you already know the creator came through with the message. So I got this download the day before yesterday, and it wasn't like a bunch of new information. It was just something that the creator wanted to touch bases on. And we kind of already touched this topic already. We had a discussion about universal law and the different laws of the different dimensions on this timeline, right? And the creator said there are standard rules. That's what I heard. There are standard rules, okay? The way we have the laws of the universe, some laws don't apply to everyone, right? Because of your bloodline, because of your journey, because of your purpose. And then there are some things that are standard. It's across the board. Doesn't matter who you are, what your purpose is, what your bloodline is, how much money you have, how old your spirit is. It doesn't matter, okay? And then I was led to the fruits of the spirit. We had a discussion about the fruits of the spirit a while ago, and the creator wanted to go into the different things that allows us to tap into our higher selves via these laws, okay? So the 7 fruits of the spirit is just one aspect of being able to reach a higher vibration by just doing the right thing, right? Being patient, being kind, being caring, like all of the fruits of the spirit. You can look them up. I don't want to take away from the topic. You could definitely Google the 7 the 7 fruits of the spirit, okay? These are basic qualities that will allow you to be not only a open, pure vessel, but a high vibrational one, right? Because people who channel demons and do dirty work for the devil is a vessel that is being used by a higher power too, right? So we have to be careful with even our verbiage and the way we understand these things, because there is a meaning outside of this, okay? There's more of a meaning. There's more going on. So we were gifted, if you will, with some information. And this is when the creator start rambling on, because he's like, okay, people think this is BS, right? So remember when we talked about, okay, a lot of these conversations we had, but sometimes things come up just for a certain point to be made, right? We've had a conversation about the Christ consciousness, right? We've had a conversation about the collective and how spells are put on the collective. We even went as far as back to slavery days and how that time period was used to curse people, and how that curse is now done and over with, and this is why we're going into this new ascension. We even had the discussion of birth charts and how different spirits will attack us, and how we're prone to certain things via our blood chart via our birth chart and our bloodline, okay? All of these things allude to the fact that universal law and the standard practice of spirituality is set in place for those things, okay? And the creator was using the 7 spirits, the 7 fruits of the spirit, the Christ collective, the Christ consciousness, and collections of people being put under spells, okay? As well as a few other things. But those were the 3 main things that were used to prove and to make the point that there is a standard level of spirituality that everyone should be operating in, whether you believe in God or not. And this is more so attached to like the 7 fruits of the Spirit, mainly because those qualities are the different energies that are connected to certain portals, right? Like your heart chakra, your third eye chakra. Because once you open your heart, you start pushing yourself into alignment, okay? Although the sacral and the root chakras are connected to other things that can attack you on a very low vibrational level, overall, your heart chakra is what allows room for other chakras to start being put into alignment. A lot of people think that it is the third eye first. No, your heart chakra and your throat chakra needs to be first. It doesn't matter which of the two comes before the other, but your ability to speak out and be honest and be as open and honest and pure as possible are the two things that work in tandem, and they are the two things that allow spirituality to thrive and take a course so much so that it will enable, and I don't even want to use enable in this sense, but it will open up the doors to your spiritual journey in multiple other ways, right? On different levels and frequencies. So when we get to this whole position, right, of wanting to be available, wanting to make sure that we are being honest, and when I say available, I mean available to the Creator and to the call, because a lot of people, they get the call and they don't answer, or sometimes they get the call and they answer, but they don't give a response. Some people just pick up the phone and hang right up because they want the phone to stop ringing, right? So we all have a different level of understanding. We have a different perspective. We have our own reasoning for allowing ourselves to be subject to spirituality, but sometimes you're not even subjecting yourself to it. You're just being a decent human being, right? And we talked about that. You don't even have to be like chosen or a black sheep or a indigo or a starseed. You don't have to be anointed. You don't even have to have the best tight-knit relationship with the Creator. Just being a decent human being, like honest, caring, patient, kind, loving, like all of those things which are alluding to the fruits of the Spirit, are sometimes things that is enough that'll keep you in alignment with your higher vibration, right? With the higher aspects of yourself. Remember, we all have a low vibrational self and high vibrational self. And if you are practicing the 7 fruits of the Spirit, even without someone telling you that these are the fruits of the Spirit, that you need to do these things, whether you're aware of what they are or not, you're allowing yourself to be in a higher vibration, right? I think having that close-knit relationship and that understanding of God opens you up to a little bit more protection, a little bit more patience. It gives you more, right? When you allow the Creator to orchestrate, when you have faith, when you have a relationship. Some people believe in God, but they don't have a relationship with God. There's a big difference, okay? And I think a lot of the people who are willing to open themselves up to having a relationship with God, they will then, only then, will they start going into different dimensions that are only for the select few, because you don't get an invite, you don't get a key, you don't get to take a peek behind the door if you are not open to God and all that He is bringing. Some of us we are really, really unaware of the different aspects that are associated with God. Like, some people think that God is all just so good and so, all high and mighty and high and dandy, and he is high and mighty and he is dandy. But you know how they have that post that's going around, like, if you go low, I'll go to hell. God is just like that. God will match your frequency if he needs your attention. And I'm not saying that, God is out here cursing people, but God will curse you. You have to be careful. Like, this is why you have to know universal law. This is why you have to have a relationship with God. Because if you know universal law, and if you know how God operates and how he functions, right? Because God is so vast and so grand and so deep that no one will know every aspect of God. But you will know enough to know if what you're experiencing in your life is something that is a part of the journey and it's a testimony that God wants you to have, if it's spiritual warfare, or if it's just some mistake that you are making. Those are all three different things intertwined, because they're all being allowed and orchestrated by the Creator. He can stop anything at any time. But sometimes we make decisions and we put ourselves in situations that we don't have to necessarily be in, if we were to just make better choices, or if we were to just open ourselves up to the possibilities of the Creator and all that he allows and creates. We don't have all the answers. We only have a smidget of everything. There are pieces of who we are and what we are, and it's nowhere near what we think. We have our own belief and our own understanding of certain things, but we don't really understand things in its entirety. And we talked about that, right? Like, not really having to understand things in order to just do it and get it done. Like, if the Creator is giving you a set of directives, you don't have to worry yourself with the who, the why, the what. You just need to know the when and the where. Right? Sometimes you don't even have to know the deets. Sometimes the deets are very, very unnecessary. It's not really important for you to know or have, simply because God is not wanting you to focus your energy on that. He's just simply giving you directions for you to execute something, and that's it. It's like when your parent tells you to clean your room and you're like, why? And they're like, get in the shower, and you're like, why? And they're like, come eat dinner, and you're like, why? It's the same thing. You don't have to always have a rebuttal, and you don't have to always get a response. Sometimes it is enough to simply just lock in to the things that are purposeful, right? To the things that we're being told to do. And this goes back to universal law. If you are operating at a certain frequency, this is standard. This is standard. The fruits of the Spirit is standard. Being obedient to the Creator is standard. When you start getting messages and you start being used as a vessel to transfer messages, to relay messages, to be some sort of model citizen, whatever it may be, that's like the next level, and it will more than likely explain your warfare. But if you're even doing standard behavior, standard beliefs, standard ideations, that will suffice. That will get you through the door. I'm not saying just be lazy with God and do the bare minimum. I'm just saying some people think it's so much more to it than it actually is. It's a lot of basic stuff that will keep you in good standing with the Creator, and it's really that simple. All right, but I'm gonna end it here. I do love y'all. I hope you guys have been drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it's most definitely free. All right, love y'all.